This morning we have Miss Galvin's class from Montgomery County Schools, and we're joining them with Joanna Reinhold and Nicole Wynn and Carty, who are going to tell us about mosquitoes this morning. So,
does anyone have any idea what the world's deadliest animal is? Well, it's actually the mosquito. It kills the most amount of people every year. A lot of people think it might be something different, like snakes, sharks. People get a lot more scared of things like that, like bigger animals. But mosquito actually kills the most amount of people every year, even more than other humans. And they do this by spreading diseases, and that's what makes them so dangerous.
So we just wanted to give you some information about mosquitoes because they're more than just the annoying buzzing things in your ear. Only the females actually bite, and they take our blood because they need blood in order to develop their eggs. And as someone else said, they lay their eggs on water, which is what this little animation is of. So they actually have 6 different needles in their proboscis, which is the needle-like structure that goes into the skin. Some of them are to cut the skin, and then some of them are to move tissues away, and some of them are to inject saliva, like you said, spitting on our skin. And that puts in numbing materials, so we don't know that they're there, so we can't slap them. And also things to thin our blood so they can suck it up more easily. And then the last structure is to actually take up the blood.
So someone in the class here said that mosquitoes lay their eggs in water. Do you know why? It's because a part of mosquitoes' life cycle is aquatic. So they spend about half of their life in water. So the eggs hatch into tiny larvae. These are small wriggling individuals, as you see here. So this is how an individual larva moves. They move in alternate directions. They do this throughout. And towards the end of the larval development, they turn into a small pupae. It's like a small comma floating in water. So the life cycle is similar to what we have in a butterfly. Egg, instead of caterpillar, we have a larva in the aquatic stage. And instead of a terrestrial pupa in butterfly, we have an aquatic pupa. And then we have adult mosquito. And there's an interesting trivia here. Mosquitoes are among the very few insects whose pupa can actually move. You must have seen a butterfly pupa, it never moves. Like several other insects, pupa do not move. But mosquito pupae can move. So that's an interesting thing. And we still do not know what made them actually move. So we really do not know that.
Another interesting part during the pupae stage is that they don't eat. They eat during the larvae stage as the adult mosquito, but as pupae, they don't eat.
This is a Toxaronchides larvae, and these are Culex and, well, just Culex mosquito larvae. So these are larvae of mosquitoes that bite humans, and actually this kind doesn't bite humans or other animals. So, but it eats other mosquito larvae. So some mosquito larvae are helpful.
These are the friendly kind of mosquitoes.
Yes. These are the vegetarian mosquitoes, except for this stage when they eat other mosquitoes.
All other mosquitoes are vegetarian during the larval stage, and they feed on blood as females in the adult stage. Whereas for this mosquito, they feed on other insects during the larval stage, but as adults, they are vegan.
So let's look a little bit closer at males and females. Y'all said that females only feed on blood. So what do you guys think males feed on? Yeah, so they'll feed on flowers and fruits. They feed on sugar. And actually females also feed on sugar, but they just need the blood to develop their eggs. Another interesting difference between males and females is males have these really fluffy antennae. So they're almost like feathers, whereas females have really thin ones. They actually hear with their antennae. So all these little fibers vibrate whenever they hear the wing frequency of a female, and that helps them identify females on their own species.
The females tend to be a little bit bigger than the males, and the females actually live a little bit longer than the males too. So just to clarify, so the female mosquitoes, they feed on blood, but they also feed on sugar. So the first couple days when they turn into adults, they're just going to feed on sugar, but then once they get a little bit older, then they're going to start looking for blood.
I guess, what animals do y'all think that they would bite? They'll bite humans, but they'll also bite other mammals and warm-blooded animals like birds. But they can actually also bite cold-blooded animals like frogs and snakes. This is actually my snake, Pythagoras. Well, certain species will live in certain areas. So there are some species that will feed on just about anything, like they'll feed on a turtle and a human. But a lot of times it's different species, so different types of mosquitoes. So this mosquito that's feeding on me is a different species than the one that's feeding on this. But also they can actually be prey to a bunch of animals as well. So a lot of animals will feed on them. So they're a really important part of the food chain. So I mentioned earlier that mosquitoes use their antennae, the fluffy structures on their heads, to hear for, like, listen for other mosquitoes. But they actually also use their structures as their nose. So the type of like receptors that we use in our nose for smelling things, they actually have on their antennae. So their antennae are both their ears and their nose. And they use their antennae to actually find us. So they can follow plumes of our breath that have CO2 and body odor in them in order to find us.
Yeah, so here are some methods that you can use to protect yourself from mosquitoes. So mosquitoes don't seem to like the smell of citrus fruits with clove, and you can use natural oils. You can apply them on your skin, or you can apply them on the bed nets that you use to repel mosquitoes. You can, of course, use bed nets treated with insecticides, or you can also with repellents. And then we also have repellent sprays that you can use when you venture outdoors. And we have these citronella candles which repel mosquitoes. They don't like the smell of citronella. And we also have these light-based traps that attract mosquitoes. As Nicole pointed out, they are attracted to certain colors. So probably this is one that works on that principle. So these are some of the things that are being commonly used to repel mosquitoes.
What are they attracted to? Like, what smells are they attracted to? I don't really get it.
They're attracted to our breath, like the CO2 that we release. That's a big one. They're also attracted to this thing called lactic acid that comes like off of our skin.
I just want to thank everyone for being here today. And I want to thank the presenters, so Nicole and Carty and Joanna. Y'all did a fabulous job.